Welcome to the deep dive. Imagine standing on the edge of a raging, chaotic ocean storm, feeling totally overwhelmed by the sheer destructive force of the waves, and then somehow finding deep psychological comfort in, well, watching an apple fall from a tree.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty massive leap, doesn't it?
It really does. Today, we are diving into a fascinating set of daily devotional notes. Specifically, we're looking at the 7-step QT notes dated April 10th, 2026, which are centered on Psalm 93.
Right, and they make that exact seemingly bizarre leap you just talked about.
Exactly. Now, just to set the stage for you, we aren't here to take sides or endorse a specific religious viewpoint today.
No, not at all.
We are impartially unpacking the theological arguments and the ancient imagery presented in this source material. We're simply conveying its ideas about cosmic order.
Just looking at the architecture of the text.
Right. I mean, the intent behind these notes is kind of like finding a heavy anchor in a storm, which is honestly the perfect setup to explore this ancient text.
That anchor analogy is so spot on because the psalm really taps into a primal human fear, the unpredictable ocean.
Yeah, let's talk about the intense poetry in Psalm 93, specifically verses 1 through 5. Could you unpack that clash for us? Because you have these chaotic thunders of many waters on one side.
And on the other, an immovable Lord who is robed in majesty and armed with strength. The text actually establishes this really stark dichotomy.
I mean, why the sea, though? Is it just dramatic poetry?
Well, no, the roaring, lifting floods represent overwhelming chaos. To the ancient mind, the sea wasn't just weather, it was destructive anti-order.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but the divine throne is described as established from old, which frames this rule as inherently mightier than any raging sea.
Okay, but applying a 3,000-year-old poem to modern life requires a pretty sturdy bridge. The notes pivot from these ancient poetic floods to, well, literal modern laws of nature.
Right, very relatable, everyday examples.
It's exactly like the sun setting in the west, an apple falling downward instead of up, and a child inevitably aging. I have to admit, the author makes a really bold assertion here, marveling that anyone could believe such precise, stable rules came into existence on their own.
Well, mathematically speaking, it's a brilliant rhetorical move. It connects those natural phenomena back to the source's key verse.
Which is?
Your decrees are very trustworthy.
Wait, really? So it's not just a science lesson?
No, not at all. The predictable laws of physics and time are presented as tangible proof of an unshakable order. It's essentially divine faithfulness in action.
So what does this all mean for the person reading these notes, while feeling totally overwhelmed by their week?
Right, moving from the macro-level physics of the universe down to the micro-level psychology of the reader.
Yeah, how does this actually help them?
The practical application is that if the universe operates on this stable order, readers are urged to live steadily and with holiness themselves. The notes actually highlight some really intense probing questions for the reader. They ask, where does life feel most unstable?
And what voices or pressures compete for your trust?
Exactly. It challenges you to identify your own personal roaring floods and then actively look for the falling apple.
So we've taken this journey from terrifying ancient roaring seas to the quiet predictability of a falling apple.
It flips the script completely.
It really does. Which leaves me with a final thought for you to chew on today. If the consistent rules of nature, like gravity holding your coffee cup down, are viewed by this text as daily proof of a larger, unshakable order,
right,
how might looking through that lens shift the way you experience the most mundane, predictable routines of your own day?